And then I've brought myself over the other side, and all I'm going to do is ever so slowly, I'm going to start to bring Oscar's foot towards me. I'm going to sort of release for a moment and then do it again. And as I do it again, I'm bringing the foot a little further over, crossing it over his body. I'm going to do that a few times. So I'm releasing part way, I'm adding a little bit more flexion at the hip, and then I'm adding a little bit more adduction of the legs. I'm coming across the midline now. You'll also notice that the hip is now nicely lifted. You do want to see that. And you also want to keep keep an eye on the shoulder at that far side. When we start to get a little bit of a lift going on, that's when we'll pause. This crossover can be really quite an intense stretch. Oftentimes, it can be felt all the way from the low back through the hip, through the lateral hamstring, down the outside of the leg, usually the fibularis muscles, even down into the outside of the foot. So I'll do that a little release and then add a little bit more, and I'm seeing now the other shoulder coming with me. And you could stay right here. You could absolutely stay right here and make it all about the stretch. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to add in a little bit of pressure at the hip. But to do that, I just need to support the ankle. I've got my shin there now, and I'm moving myself up so that I have access to the hip. And all I'm doing at the hip, you might not be able to see it too well. I'm actually just going to move that arm there so that we can see that. Right on the top of the hip there, as it presents to you, we're going to add just a very small amount of weight. The hand placement there is actually on the TFL, and a very small amount of weight is all we need in order to enhance that stretch. Because it's not just about drawing on the tissue to add more to that stretch, but I'm also adding a gentle amount of pressure to the pelvis, which almost sort of reverses Oscar's pelvis out of the twist and focuses a bit more of the stretch on the outside of the leg. So we can do that and hold that for a few breaths. For some people, just holding the position is plenty of intensity, and we don't necessarily always need this additional hand. We'll do one more little placement of the hand. I shifted my hand ever so slightly posteriorly on the hip. So now I'm also getting a bit more of the gluteus medius fibers, which you might remember from other massage club meetups. Since this crossover can be really quite intense for most people, we don't spend a huge amount of time here. Simply by being the shape, we have quite the intense experience.